think so often we are inundated with stories of best-selling authors who made it in their 20s or their 30s, who were basically unnaturally gifted at an early age or unnaturally connected, or who just had like a really lucky break, or who wrote some of their best work when they were really young. I think this cultural fixation on youth actually discourages people who would be incredible artists from following the path, because not everyone makes it when they're 25. A great example of this is Suzanne Collins, one of the most popular authors in human history, whose Hunger Games books have been sold millions and millions and millions of times and have spawned a best-selling franchise, books, paraphernalia, an entire subculture on the internet. And I just find it fascinating that when she wrote her first series of books, the Underland Chronicles, which is Gregor the Overlander and so on, which are excellent books, they didn't catapult her to immediate fame. She was a well-respected middle grade author when she was writing those books, and she was 40 years old when that first book came out. Now let that sink in, because at 40 years old, she still had not achieved her grand life's purpose. She had just began, I should say. How often do we hear that story? Not that often. So she publishes her first book at 40, and then she has this, mildly successful middle grade series. It's, well reviewed, people like it, but it's definitely not getting like the star treatment. She hasn't blown up into the stratosphere yet. And then 5 years later, when she's 45, she publishes The Hunger Games, which goes on to be one of the best-selling series of all time. My point here is what if Suzanne Collins, at 25, when she had tried to write her first novel, or at 35, when she had tried to write her fifth or sixth novel, and she wasn't getting bites from editors, and she wasn't getting bites from agents, what if she had given up? We would have missed out on The Hunger Games, one of the biggest series of all time. What my point is that you have to keep going. You never know when your best work is going to resonate with the world. I'm right now reading this book by Gabrielle Zevin called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and it's like one of the best books I've ever read, and it is her 10th novel. I haven't read any other books by this woman. If she would have given up, maybe that book would have never been written. It's so interesting to think about. I heard a TikToker describe it like this. You have to imagine that the show of your life is going to really captivate the world on season 5. But right now you're on season 1, and you can't not put your heart and soul into season 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, because once people find out about your show, they're going to want to go binge every episode. You got to make sure there's episodes to binge. You never know when you're going to take off. You never know what age you're going to be. Some writers don't make it to their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. There's writers who start in their 80s, y'all. So my point is don't give up. Keep writing. Keep going. You never know when your best work is going to strike you. I love you guys.